In Episode 4 of Season 11 of The Curse of Oak Island, the group drills further in an attempt to locate the misplaced tunnel while continuing their quest in the vicinity of the money pit. Will further investigation result in the identification of the misplaced treasure? What recent discoveries have the archaeology and excavation team made? Will this episode achieve success, or will further attempts be required in light of the progress that has been made thus far? We shall investigate primordial history by employing contemporary technologies, knowledge, and abilities. The episode commences with Oak Island's crew resuming their quest, which this time includes a greater number of sources for consultation. As they progress through the tasks, Alex declares that the drilling operation of D5N27 is being extended to the east by more than 100 feet. Their objective is to confirm whether or not a tunnel exists beneath the garden shaft. Additionally, the tunnel may contain a significant quantity of metallic substances, and an examination of its contents may reveal that they are exclusively oriented in the western direction towards the baby blob. Following a sequence of incisions and 53 feet into the target, the drilling apparatus continued for a number of hours. Nevertheless, an additional pivotal revelation was unveiled in D5N27. Alongside the tunnel, timber shaft evidence suggests the existence of an additional structure that extends in an easterly direction. It appears that the wood at the newly discovered tunnel is more robust, healthier, and in closer proximity to the surface than the wood that was initially sought after for the tunnel. 101 to 95 feet into the drilling process, the drilling machine drew in an additional object. This time, a substantial mass of moist soil containing scattered materials in addition to wood confirmed the existence of a second tunnel to the east of the garden shaft. The team would have made additional discoveries. Nevertheless, their borrowed time had expired, and it was now the turn of the Dumas Contracting Company and Irving Contracting Ltd. Teams to contribute their considerable efforts. The companies brought with them robust machinery, including 109-ton cranes that are practical for hoisting large appliances and a 3-ton hammer grab tool. The contracting companies commenced the assembly process while Alex and the rest of the team exercise in a new area. East of the garden shaft, a new borehole drilling operation designated C5N27 is scheduled to commence. To further investigate the newly discovered tunnel, which is estimated to be 7.5 feet in diameter and more than 100 feet deep into the soil, a new area is being drilled. An additional objective of the C5N27 drilling operation is to facilitate the construction of a more robust conduit from beneath the garden shaft, as desired by the Oak Island team. The team worked as quickly as possible to drill the new borehole due to time constraints and the fact that certain areas of the site would be off-limits to observation and analysis for safety reasons, while the construction company performed heavy labor. Certain individuals on the team harbored aspirations of investigating the recently unearthed artifacts at the Interpretive Center on Oak Island. Carmen Legg, an authority on blacksmithing, was consulted to examine what appeared to be a snipping implement. The expert corroborated their hypothesis and elaborated that the fractured component occurred at the location where the welded shear of the scissors was affixed to the handle. The shear handle was compared to a complete set discovered by Dan Blankenship, and the conclusions were accurate and quite similar. Nevertheless, the scissors that were recently unearthed are considerably older than the ones discovered by the island hunter. There exists a hypothesis suggesting that an unresolved enigma may exist if the circular depression on Lot 5 and this pair of scissors are both traced back to the same date. A potential link between the two objects could provide hints that lead to a more extensive revelation. In its entirety, the island may provide access to a 1687 discovery. It appears that the archaeologists at work on Lot 5 have uncovered additional ceramic and pearlware fragments, with the exception that they are now colored white and date back to the mid-1700s. Helen is of the opinion that a portion of the creamware that was unearthed once belonged to a porcelain teapot, which is consistent with historical evidence and anticipated for the era in question. An additional perplexing enigma pertains to the apparent burial of these ceramics prior to the unveiling of Oak Island, thereby further complicating the process of tracing their provenance. In 1762, shortly after Oak Island was discovered, Charles Morris partitioned it into 4 acres to facilitate exploration and excavation. Nevertheless, it appears that the rectangular depression predates the segmentation of the island and certainly predates the discovery of the money pit. By the afternoon, the eastern borehole, designated C5N27, had penetrated to a depth of several feet beneath the surface. The drilling crew, situated at a depth of 93 feet, was enthusiastic about guaranteeing another discovery. Nevertheless, time ran out against them, and subsequent investigations of the region came to a halt. Before the allotted time ran out, an extraordinary event transpired. The rare decreased to 104, which indicated that the underlying soil was extremely fragile and disturbed. Upon descending to a depth of 111 feet, the crew discovered a wood-filled core and obtained confirmation that an additional subterranean structure was situated east and beneath the garden shaft. This tunnel could potentially be an additional passageway or an enigmatic treasure tunnel. The lower portion of the discovered wood was deemed to be in excellent condition, and its irregular pattern suggested that it had been fashioned by hand rather than using advanced technology. Axe cuts on other types of timber or the widespread use of mechanized saws in the 1800s were comparable. If this hypothesis holds true, then the tunnel was most likely constructed by a secret depositor or a searcher prior to 1795. The subsequent discovery resulting from the drilling operation comprised a combination of moist soil, fiber, wood fragments, and detritus. Terry believes that the smoother and more stable timber beam belonged to the tunnel's roof, whereas the lower, murkier, and softer fibers were utilized for the tunnel's floor. Dumas Contracting Limited will commence work around the garden shaft in due course, commencing with the dewatering operation and subsequently expanding the borehole by an additional 20 feet. Much further exploration is anticipated to occur throughout the drilling and construction processes. The episode concludes in a melancholy manner. Time was of the essence, and further discoveries were not feasible. The results obtained from the C5N27 borehole drilling, the metal detector team, and the archaeologists will undoubtedly prove valuable to the mining and construction company throughout the duration of the undertaking. Make a channel subscription and a like for the video.